rongo ki te tangi a te kori mako. Kōrero flowing out the hook of force. Kaupapa relevant, kaupapa out of bounds, kaupapa exigent, kaupapa paramount. Nā ko nā whakapiri mai ki te kaupapa tino whakahira hira whakarongo pi kari kari mai. Hare hare mai, o Taringa hare hare mai. We gotta gather up close everybody. Gather up close everybody. Kani move that body. Kani move that body.
Kei aku rangatira, whakarauhi ka maira, whakaopiti maira, anei kia rauhi mai, koutou tātou ki te punua pāho, o Taringa e whakapāho atu nei I konei, I te pokapū o Taringa, I raro I ngā manaakitanga te wānanga o te aroa, kia pakura, te wāhi tapahi ai, te pito o te kaupapa, anei mātou tokotoru, e mihi nei kia koutou, coming at you from the bustling metropolis. Ngāhuia Murphy. And gratitude due to te māngai pāho, kōrua ko irirangi, te motu.
Tēnā koutou katoa.
Yes, and morena kia tātou e kare mā, e tai mā, e tua mā, e hine mā, e hika mā. Mā. And anei tā tātou manihiri e hoa mā?
Ai.
I'm getting into it. Nau mai,
Ko tahi atu ki te kaupapa.
Ko tahi atu ki te kaupapa, and I heard ruahine. So, he tika rā kia tiki nā kia au te rā kupu. I nā hoki, ki au, anei tētahi e noho mātanga nei, e noho tohunga nei I tana kaupapa.
Kia ora.
And you know, ara e tahi, e whakarongo mai ana ki au. Ka whakaaro pēr, eki, kei te whakamai au I tēnei kupu, but you know what? Nōku tōku mana. Yeah. Hey, Erica, she's like,
you
yeah,
go.
You say, you go. So, e te ruahine, e rangatira na mātou, o tira te kaupapa o Taringa I a koe, mau I whakai, kia tai mai, I nai anei, we've had two Murphys, I te me mui a koe, koto tungane e para nei te huarangi. Nō reira, tēnei te mihi ki o maunga, ki tāwhiu au, kia Ngāti Manawa. Mērā o nā hononga I wainganui a tāua I nā hoki. I heke atu I konei I whare pūhunga a tangi haruru.
Kia ora.
A rāua ko whare pākau.
Kia ora.
Nō reira ko hau tēnei ko raukau e mihi nei. Mātou tokotoru. I'll let you fellas do your own mihi, but you know. Yeah. So nau mai.
Tēnā koutou. Kia ora ngāhuia.
Kia ora tātou.
Yeah. So nau mai, haere mai anei kia Taringa.
Kia ora.
Woo. Right.
That's us.
Right.
Let's roll.
Let's roll.
Let's do this.
We're rolling. Right. Rolling. Hit him up.
See me rolling.
I love that movie. Anyway.
It's funny how we said ko tahi atu ki te kaupapa.
I know.
And we've got the kaupapa.
You know.
Haere kume ngā kōrero ano.
Ka nei, e hoi anō, e te tue hene. Ka whiua kia koe, moho koe, ko tētai o nā mahi ki Taringa, kia kōrerotia tētahi kiwa.
Tōku kiwaha I te ata nei e rama.
Wow.
E rama.
E rama.
E rama.
E rama.
Oh, I love the way.
E rama.
E rama. And
Hea te tika.
So we're just shouting e rama.
E rama.
Yeah, just go around shouting it.
He hou tēnā kiwaha ki au.
Ai.
Kia mātou.
does it have a relationship to e tama?
E tama. Kare te mōhio.
Yeah, hea te tikanga o te e rama.
Chū.
E rama.
Chū.
E rama.
E rama. Oh, okay, so that's how we're meant to be yelling.
Chū.
Yeah, e rama.
E rama.
So you could be speaking and you're talking about someone, they pop in and you're, e rama, speak of the devil. Oh no, when the tali
I think you're meant to say, hey karamba.
E karama. Well, that's the feeling that gets, e rama.
E rama. You can say it in different ways, right? Chū. E rama.
E rama.
E rama.
Cool.
Can you say it in a shock,
neat.
like someone does something that you disapprove of and you're like, e rama.
Aipea.
Must be that
Aipea
no.
means no.
But e rama.
E rama. So it's like, che, wow, far out, āhuatanga.
Ai.
Is that like a che like mihi or che like che to that? You know what I mean? 'Cause
Yeah.
sometimes like che is like kupu tautoko.
Yeah.
We need to do an episode on che, eh?
Che.
No, not today. Yeah, or is it like a che to you, like che bro, sort of a e rama, like e rama.
Must be nā mērua. Ai.
Yeah. And I rongo, no roto mai a Ngāti Manawa tēnei kiwa.
Like an
Apparently,
acknowledgement.
ai.
So
Ai,
cool.
apparently.
So cool.
Yeah, e rama. I like it.
E rama.
E rama.
E rama.
E mea ana ki a koe. Nō reira, e te iwi, koe nā tā tātou ki waha, e rama.
E rama.
Che, nā ko rongo rā koutou e rua. I'm going to actually check it over to kei a kōrua. Put in a sentence, make it sound even, make sure it's cool, because it's a cool ki waha. All ki waha cool, though. It's a cool way to say so.
It's a cool way.
Mau koe e utu ngā kawhi?
E rama.
True.
Ka pai. Mau, okay. Mau ngā kawhi e utu.
Oh, yeah.
Mau ngā kawhi e utu. Ai,
Mau
ia.
ngā kawhi e utu.
E rama. Oh, e rama, bro, kia ora. Nice.
Pēhā tau. How is your butter chicken?
Oh, e rama.
Nice.
Yeah, Erica's does a lot of chefing on Instagram.
Oh, you saw that? Oh,
Of course I did, and then I unfollowed you.
It's the best butter chicken I've ever made.
E rama.
Did it have the taste?
It did have the taste.
Oh, very good.
And it had this saucy look.
Yeah. Did you learn the secret is in the onions?
It's the onions.
I heard that from an Indian workmate of my partner's.
Yeah, it's the length you cook the onion. Anyway, tēnā tātou e rama te that.
E rama.
Tēnā tātou ki waha. Hoi anō, anei tātou. E nā katuku e kia koe te puahere, mau tā tātou kaupapa e whakatakoto, i te mea nau te reo pōwhiri. Me ki no tātou, engari nau te whakaaro. Kia whai wāhi mai tēnei ruahine o tātou i tēnei rā.
Hoi no he hehe o tātou ki te whakakōrero nei i tēnei whakaaro te mana wahine. Ko ai atu, kei ko atu, kei ko mai nei i te hunga, koro nei e para nei te huarahi, e rangahau ana i ngā mea nei, e mea nei, he mana wahine, te mana o te wahine, e rā ahuaranga katoa. So, we thought it was best to seek out these people that have been using their lifetime to explain or uncover things of wahine Māori. And so, yeah, of course, and the likes of Dr. Ngāhuia Murphy came to mind.
Tika, doctor.
Dr. Ngāhuia Murphy. And these are the things that we want to know about. And even is it couth or uncouth to say mana wahine in this day and age? Or how te mana wahine?
Is it couth or uncouth?
Yeah, is it couth or uncouth? There you go.
I don't really know, bro. I don't really know. All I know is that I started out on this journey about 20 years ago. We're from Te Urewera, but from Waikare Moana, Ngāti Manawa, Murupara, but we grew up in Taranaki. Me and Enoka were really influenced by Taranaki, by Whirangi Waikere Puru. He was just wonderful. And he would talk about the importance of recovering a living relationship with the atua wahine and abandoning Christianity. And our dad is Ngāhuia Murphy. He runs this wānanga te pū māmau. It's a decolonisation wānanga.
I've still got the book.
Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, that's right. It's so legendary.
Yeah, I think I got it from when I was a teenager.
He's been doing it for 30 years. He's in his 70s. Him and mum, they're just total gangsters. They refuse to retire. They roll across the motu running their decolonisation wānanga. I'm like, when are you going to retire and move back to Mātātu and look after the kids? when are you going to retire? They've got no intention of retiring. Yeah.
Kare te Māori retire.
Aye.
Yeah. So we were raised on that kaupapa of decol, of shedding all the bull we've been taught to believe about who we are as a people and recovering our own truths about who we are. And when it comes to wahine, we've had 200 years, like what the colonial ethnographers wrote about us. When you look at what they actually wrote about us, it was incredibly derogatory. They've framed Māori women as inferior, as spiritually polluting. And to be clear, that spiritual pollution comes from our reproductive bodies, from kurawaka. Well, how can that be? How can that be? The tara, the whare tangata, is the only way in and out of this world. So if it's polluting, then we're all tarred by that brush as a people.
Kia ora.
So they wrote a whole lot of stuff about us that we've internalised over time, and our own people have actually written. You can actually, it's what they wrote, those colonial ethnographers, has been reproduced across 200 years Yeah, and so now we believe it. And if you trace the language of what they wrote, you'll end up back in the witch hunts in Europe. Yeah.
Wow.
So, mana wahine, to me, it's about creating a platform for us as wahine to recover our own and redefine who we are. Nobody gets to tell us who we are anymore. We say who we are. And what are our knowledges? Putting those back together, our identities, our voices, our stories, all of it, you know. So that's been my journey, is creating those platforms. And really, the journey with Te Awatua was really important.
Kia ora.
Because
I've read that.
yeah, it was such a beautiful kaupapa. And when I started out on that haerenga, there were some people that didn't understand what I was doing. Why you want to do that? Well, because I'm a wahine. And because that blood has been, you know, as wahine, we're raised to think that blood is paru, it's dirty, it's a mate, it's unclean,
Yeah, mate.
it's dangerous, something about it. It's got prohibitions around it to, you know, to keep other people safe from some kind of menstrual malevolence. There's something wrong
Menstrual
with
malevolence.
us. Yeah.
Time of the month.
Yeah, and that kōrero is just so incoherent with our beautiful kōrero around the whare tangata. He tapu, tapu, tapu rawa tu te whare tangata. Well, the blood is her ceremony of purification and renewal every month.
Tēnā
That's
koe.
the blood.
Right.
Yeah.
Remember, that blood, it's not wound blood. It's the only blood that is not wound blood. It's life blood. It's the blood of birth, death, and renewal. That's what it is. And those are the tides of the whare tangata.
Oh, the tides. I like that.
That is the cycle. That is the energetic nature of the whare tangata. She's the house of life, death, and renewal. Yeah. Just like Hine Tiwi with the moon.
Beautiful.
Exactly the same. She's the womb. She's the whare tangata in the sky. She gives birth to herself on the new moon. That was traditionally, that's when we bled, was on the dark of the moon and on the coming into the new moon. 2 weeks later, when she's full, that's when we ovulated. That's when we were
Right.
open and fertile.
Rākau nui.
Yeah, rākau nui. And then she would retract the moon. She retracts her energy again, retreating, ready for her ceremony of purification and renewal, which is the blood tide, which is Te Awatua. So wahine, the whare tangata, follows the same cycle as Hine Tiwi with the marama. And Papatuanuku's seasonal rites of passage as well. She follows the same cycle too.
Yes.
With her seasons.
Kia ora.
Yeah.
Okay, so I just want to go back. So you're saying that we were once so in tune with the taiao that everyone, all females, were on the same cycle as the moon.
Wahine who live together bleed together. We know that, eh? Wahine who live
Yes,
together
I have-
will bleed
have heard.
together. That's the wisdom of the whare tangata. She'll sink in with all the other wahine in the house. And when we lived under lunar light and not artificial light, we bled on the dark of the moon and we ovulated on the full. Yeah. When we started living under artificial light, because light impacts the whare tangata. Yeah, there's a symbiosis there. So when we started living under artificial light, wearing synthetic kākahu, eating kai that wasn't good kai,
Yeah.
that started to muck with our cycles.
You change your environment, you change your internal environment, eh?
But I do think that the raupatu
Yeah.
also really impacted and continues, the desecration of Papatuanuku continues to impact our cycle as well, I think, because
Tautoko.
Te Awatua is a barometer of the well-being of wahine.
Wow.
It's a barometer of the well-being of the whakapapa line, because that blood is a medium of whakapapa. So if there are issues in the whakapapa line, you can purify and clear it through the tide of blood, through the flow, releasing it. If you are just cognizant and aware that that is actually what you can do. The blood is a ceremony of purification and renewal. It is a medium of whakapapa that connects us back to the atua, back to papa, because for us, that's the origin of the blood. And so it's just being aware as wahine what we can release on that tide each month. We can actually clear mamai,
Wow,
locked up in the
yeah.
whakapapa line, and our own limitations through that flow. And it's also a barometer of the well-being of papa. No te mea he wahine he whenua. And so if she's struggling, and she is struggling, you know, because we're in a state of ecological and climate crisis because of our disconnection to the mother, disconnection to the divine feminine, that's papa, that's wahine, then wahine are going to suffer, and we are suffering with the blood type. Because we see it now as a curse, not a blessing. Yeah. But that's slowly changing, eh?
It is, yeah.
I a koe kōrero ana mo te marama for a while now, ko te ingo hoki o taku wahine ko Ngāhuia. And for a while now, I don't even know why or when we started saying it, and if we heard it from our kaumātua, but she's never said mate. It's always been, she will say, o e rere ana te marama.
Yeah, beautiful, see, beautiful.
Koera te kōrero kia, I roto ia me tō kia māua, me tahi atu pea, I tō mātou hapu. Kare māua e ki mate.
Mate ai.
Ka me ao, e rere ana te marama. Yeah, kei te rere te marama.
Because it is a mate, but we forget that it's also ora.
Wa kei roto I te mate te ora.
Ai. I think ko te tirohanga ki te mate te mea rere kēnei. People's perception of it.
Ai.
Well, you know, when, you know, me pono ai, I au I te kura. As a young boy, and we knew when it was getting up to, you know, you go to intermediate, and probably around the age of 10, old that giraffe comes around.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hey,
Harold.
old Harold. You know, kāre he I au I te kura, kāre mātou I whakaakona ki te tirohanga Māori.
Ai.
Yeah.
O te tupuranga o te tamaiti. You know, we've got a rites of passage I roto I tō mātou. We know we're looking at traditional Māori birth practices. We've had Dr. Naomi on. And yeah, anyway, ia mata I te kura, ka mohe ona ngā tāne, one of the girls was, and it was like, ooh, she's got her period.
Yeah.
And we were taught that by the older boys.
Yeah.
You know, and even me pono au, and me taku aroha ki ngā wāhine, o tērā wā, you know, they're hearing that, so they're thinking that.
Yeah.
Kare mātou I whakaakona, you know, ki te tirohanga Māori. Even now, I would hazard a guess. Aua, engari, mā koutou e whakatika mai, koutou kei ngā kura Māori whare kura kaupapa. Is there Māori sex education I roto I ngā kura, mo te puberty mērā āhuatanga?
Ai.
You know, so Harold the giraffe goes around. What a, you know.
And it could be the first time you've seen a giraffe.
And there's some really valuable knowledge in there. Ka rau I te takai e Harold.
Yeah.
But in Ionese, it's opened up another area that we need to do some work at. Anyway, I'm not pinching the show.
You know, one of the profound things about Te Awatua when I was doing that research was the discovery of the bond between tāne and wahine. So beautiful. Like, we didn't exclude tāne from these kōrero. Tāne have a stake in these kōrero because of our origin stories about where the blood came from. According to some stories, tāne rode out of Te Pō into Te Ao Marama on the blood tide of his mum. You know, and then there's the story of Maui with Hine Nui Te Pō, and there's a whole other thing. So my kuia talked a lot about, my kuia Rangimari e Pere, she talked a lot about how growing up in Te Rewera, all of these things were talked about openly in the wharepuni, with 4 generations in the house, both genders. So tāne knew all about wahine, wahine knew all about tāne and their development, and that kōrero was contextualised within whakapapa kōrero, pūrākau, hitori, you know, and our navigational histories and all of that, you know.
E rama.
So that was the context. And then that continued on. And one of the things that's just extraordinary, because with my PhD, I ended up travelling around to other Indigenous people around the world and just sitting with them and seeing where they were at with these kind of kōrero and their own ceremonies around the blood. And often, like, Māori, we're the only ones that I experienced that we didn't exclude the men. Like for other cultures, the wahine go off and they bleed together in their own little whare. They have their little wānanga and they bleed together. Men don't go into that space, but that was not the case for us. And when you look at those histories of pakanga, that's where it starts to get really interesting. In the way that our tāne, the relationship of our tāne to the mana and tapu that women hold. With the whare tangata, the blood and the tara. So they would anoint themselves with the blood and carry.
Wow.
They would tuck the blood of their wahine into their war belt to clear obstructions, to neutralise and purify and clear mākotu. They would anoint their weaponry with the blood to increase the tapu of their weaponry. They would lay that blood down at the tuahu, heading into battle to clear obstructions.
Ceremonial.
Well, look at Te Rauparaha going in the kumara pit. Eh?
Yeah.
Histories there of the power
Yeah,
of wahine to purify. And that's very important because now we're associated with
the opposite.
not purification, but pollution.
Yeah.
But when you look at our histories, no, it's the opposite. We have the power to purify. And you see it when you go into the whare tipuna, you go under the pare that often has female genitalia, but also through the whakawai, the open legs of Hine Nui Te Pō, and over the te pai o tiki, which is the name for the vulva.
Pai o tiki,
You're
right.
stepping through the portal from the domain of two into the domain of hine or rongo, into the realm of peace. And if you're carrying anything, it will be purified through stepping through the doorway, which is always associated with the tara. The tara is the transitional zone, the gate between worlds, between te ao marama me te ao wairua, and so it facilitates a shift in consciousness. Yeah. And we ritualize that understanding. So these are some of the things I think that underpin ruahine. But the thing is that because wahine have become disconnected from our own bodies, we've become disconnected from kura waka within ourselves because of these kōrero around shame and pollution and also the raupatu that severed those rituals, those whare tangata rituals. We've become disconnected. So I think the first thing we have to do as wahine is actually recover the connection with our own bodies and rediscover, actually, if we take our awareness to the whenua of kura waka that we are inside ourselves, what will we find? What will we find when we bring our awareness to the tara, the birth canal, the were, the cervix, the whare tangata, the ovaries? Because those places within the whenua of kura waka are energetic gates. And the atua wahine are there. And we're talking about a landscape that holds the Māori of the people too. So we will discover knowledges there. We will discover memories there. We will discover trauma there because we've been through a lot over the last couple of 100 years. All of that is waiting there for us to compassionately work through.
Wow.
So that we can really recover who we are.
How to start? There's
There's
a
no
lot.
start and there's no end.
It's intergenerational work, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Waifero has just, if it hasn't already, it's about to drop in every kura in the country,
Oh, cool.
including
Oh,
state
tāpai.
schools.
Yeah, look.
Oh,
That's
wow.
timely taku pātai kei te
Ai.
Yeah. Kia tāhua mai hoki. Yeah,
And
hauma.
hopefully it removes the whakamā. I think, generally, and this is another symptom, is the whakamā of the tinana. And to hopefully intergenerationally change that perception to an amazement rather than a whakamā. But also, adhering to a tapu in which you're keeping each other sacred, in a way.
Yeah. Beautiful,
Yeah.
Beautiful, man.
I found interesting too, reading your book, which Erica loaned to me and I know she hasn't read yet.
I've started it.
Very good. Did you get past the content? No.
Yes.
I read, can't remember which chapter it was, Te Tuahine, engari, it was about some of the mō tētea, which I found very interesting.
Of course.
And then, you know, being the person I am, I went and found those more te in books and read the whole thing so I could sort of contextualise it. Eye-opening, to say the least. Te pānui tō pukapuka me taku mihi ki a koe. Now, not to expedite things, but I was thinking, because I am plugging this pukapuka, I don't know if you use Blinkist.
No.
So it's an app you buy, you subscribe to, and you can get a summary of a book in 15 minutes.
Yeah, I get the other one, yeah.
Yeah, I was on Headway.
Yeah,
But
Headway,
then I
yeah.
went to Blinkist.
Oh, kia ora.
I think I orite. Now, if you were to, I'm not asking you to summarise, engari, you've actually touched on some of the main points ki oku nei whakaaro, I roto I tō rangahau. And even that kupu rangahau e te iwi, kei te kreme au I te rā kupu, kia hoki mai I te mea ko te kupu rangahau, e hara I te kupu hou.
Ai.
He atua ko tōna ingoa ko rangahau.
Kia
And
ora.
he was sent out to search for honey and puna.
Honey and puna.
So there's a Māori way where we can rangahau, without references and things like that. So this here is rangahau.
Ai.
E mahi ana tātou. But I roto I tō rangahau, what are some of the key, I guess, if you were to look at your pukapuka as a whare kōrero, what are some of the key pou you would pick out of your whare kōrero o te awātua, hei whakamārama mai mau ki te iwi? You've touched on a couple of the pou.
Yep. Purification and renewal.
Kia ora.
Protection. We use the blood in rituals of protection. But also the blood is a symbol of whakapapa.
Tēnā koe.
The blood is a symbol of the continuation of whānau whakapapa. That's why when it arrived in puberty, we greet it with ceremony.
Yeah.
Right,
We
yeah.
pierced ears, we took the kauwai moko then, we'd have hākari, we'd give taonga, the kōhine would be given a new name there, and then that blood would be returned back to Papa Tuanuku in the same way as the whenua ki te whenua rites.
Tēnā
So those
koe.
are the whare tangata rituals that underpin the name that we give ourselves as tangata whenua. We're people of the land, placenta people. So recovering that understanding that the blood is a symbol of whakapapa that connects us across the generations,
Kia ora.
all the way back to papa. And the atua, tāne, hine te iwa. Yeah, those are the big things. And the bond between tāne and wahine, that we rolled together. We fought shoulder to shoulder for the whenua in our tino rangatiratanga. You know, our wahine, they died on the battlefield, man. So did the tamariki. And they didn't do that. Sacrifice their own lives to a few generations later be relegated to a status of inferiority.
Kia ora.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hey,
E rama.
A tāhua.
the whare tangata, she is the kaitiaki of the Māori of the people. That's her nature. That's her nature. And so I think we have to understand that when we oppress wahine, that has consequences for the collective.
Yeah.
If you uphold the mana tapu of wahine, the people, the whare tangata, the people will thrive.
Yeah.
The whare tangata is a primary bastion of mana motuhake tino rangatiratanga. We've got to get that one right, you know. And it's time, you know. I think it's underway.
Yeah. And I guess it's balance too. Yeah.
Balance, yeah.
Can't have this patriarchal society and be oppressing the wahine and expect everything to go well when everything's unbalanced.
That's right. We got to recover the balance between tāne and wahine, between us and the taiao, across the generations. It's all about the recovery of balance. And we're perched on the precipice of climate crisis and extinction.
Yeah.
That we're having out these kōrero in that context,
Tēnā koe.
you know? So the relationship that we have with wahine is the same relationship that we have with Papa Tuanuku.
Kia ora. Yeah. Take, extract.
Tuhine, I'm conscious of the fact a lot of our listeners are mothers and fathers, he mātua, and they may have daughters who are coming up into that sacred time in their lives. Their whole life is sacred, is tapu. But what are some kōrero āwhina to our māma Māori, papa Māori, whose daughters are nearly at that time? What can they do at home?
I think a really important, simple thing to do is reclaim those tipuna names that reflect the mana tapu of the blood. So,
koe.
ikora,
Kia ora.
te awa atua,
Kia ora.
waikora.
Mm.
You know, reclaim those names. Simple but very powerful.
Yeah.
And understand that the blood is a symbol of life and the continuation of your whakapapa line. And so when it arrives, treat it with respect and celebrate it in that way with a hakari.
Yeah, rawe tēnā
Maybe a
whakaaro.
taonga.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
That's beautiful, yeah.
Yeah, just nice and simple.
Again, reflecting on cousins, whānau, friends. It was like she got her,
Yeah, it's a somber time in the whare.
like hush her away in the room,
Yeah,
and
you're
and then like
right.
everybody knows, and it's like don't talk about it.
Yeah.
You know that sort of wairua,
Yeah.
and it's not healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is the absolute opposite of how our tipuna were. They spoke about it openly.
Yeah.
You know how celebratory they were about everything to do with sexuality.
Yep.
Very healthy. Our tipuna had just so healthy attitudes around our own sexuality and sexual development. And it was the mission stations where that was disrupted, The mission stations that targeted wahine because they knew if you convert wahine and then release her back out into the hāpori, she'll convert the hāpori, and she's the first teacher of tamariki.
Of tamariki,
so
yeah. In the mother tongue, yeah. Tika.
that would be a wonderful starting point, is to recover those beautiful names,
Atahua.
have a lovely hākari,
Yeah.
some taonga.
A taonga, yeah.
Taonga, yeah.
Doesn't have to be extravagant.
No, it doesn't. Just keep it simple. But the other thing was that when we bled, it was a time of rest.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
That the whare tangata is in her ceremony of purification and renewal. She's shedding the old, the inner lining,
Yeah.
the inner lining of the whare tangata, the inner lining of the cosmos. She's shedding it, making way for the new to be able to continue the life cycle. And so we did. We rested and took it easy. And that time supported by our whānau.
Tēnā koe.
Supported by the whānau. You can imagine that's a big deal. That would have been a big deal back in the day.
Yeah.
All the wahine, because they're all bleeding together. The wahine live together. They're bleeding together. So they all gonna go and chill out for a couple of days, because we didn't bleed for the long extended time that we bleed now. Now we bleed. We bleed heavy. We bleed hard.
He trauma
Because we're disconnected from the whenua.
Yeah.
And because of that mamai.
Yeah.
But imagine, and our tāne took care of things. Our beautiful tāne took care of things. And over the last sort of 15 years that I've run wānanga around Te Awatua, it's been so beautiful. Every wānanga, there'll be tāne in there that talk about, and there'll be wahine in there that talk about their dads or their koros. Oh yeah, it wasn't my mum that told me about the blood. It was actually my koro, or with my dad, and he'd give me a miri and just beautiful. It's like, that's right.
Cool.
That's right.
When you first started your rangahau into this kaupapa, what were the reactions like, and where did you even start?
When I started to run the wānanga, I was really quite afraid of how are we going to take this kōrero?
Yeah.
Especially, I mean, beautiful kōrero there, but very, very powerful, opening up those pakanga histories, the war rights. Just, I didn't know how our people would take it. And what I discovered was no need to be afraid, because our people loved it and they were hungry for that kōrero.
Cool.
That was like recovering a missing piece of who we are, because this kōrero belongs to all of us. We're not like other people that, especially Pākehas, oh, this is women's business, this women's kōrero. Well, no, not for us. The blood, this is a whānau issue.
Yeah.
It's not a woman's issue, it's a whānau issue.
Literally.
Yeah.
Tika.
But where did I start? I went to my kuia in Waikaremoana. That's how I actually started. Actually, no, I actually started by going and sitting on the whenua and having a kōrero with Papa Tuanuku and saying to her, use me to bring back mātauranga that might facilitate healing and empowerment for our people. Use me and the skills that I have. And that was how the journey began, yeah. And what I discovered was that knowledge is not lost. It moves in and out of the world.
Kia ora, tautoko.
And we can call it back if the alignments are right, the timing is right, if the environment, if everything is in alignment and the timing is right, we can call those knowledges back into te ao marama to heal, to facilitate healing and the restoration of balance. So that was how I began, and then I went home to Waikaremoana to my kuia, Rangi Māori Pere, spent time with her, and it took days for the kōrero to come. We just kind of sunk into it and allowed those kōrero to come when they were ready in their own time. I'd been there for over a week when we were sitting there, and she said, she started talking about protection. She started talking about the way that the blood protects. And she said, because that's the nature of the ahuru mōwai, te whare tangata. She shelters and protects as we come in to this ao. And she said, you know, in pakanga, tāne would be very, very careful. Those warriors on the battlefield that had powerful women around them, mothers, aunties, kuia, men would be careful of those ones because they knew that they carried something with them that was
more than just themselves.
Because the blood, because the whare tangata, everything that she releases from the blood all the way through the spectrum to stillborn, aborted, miscarried babies, they all carry a protective quality. They all carry a protective quality, and we would summon he atua, and we would summon them as a kaitiaki mo te whānau. Kaitiaki mo te whānau. So that is true of stillborn, miscarried, aborted babies. They never leave the whānau. They noho hai kaitiaki mo te whānau, but also all the way back through to menstrual blood. We saw it as a medium of atua. And so our tāne would anoint themselves with that blood and carry that blood into battle. And in doing so, they had an atua there with them, a kaitiaki that would shield and protect, purify mākotu. Yeah, so there's all of that beautiful, very powerful, the nature of the whare tangata.
Kia ora.
And you can see how Pākeha ethnographers came with that same kōrero of the witch hunts and seeing the same thing and making the same comparisons. You know, even from their pagans where there was those ideas and fear of it, because I think it was the fear of that power, of that mana.
Oh,
You know,
tautoko. That's absolutely right. Because during the witch hunts they demonized that power. They could not control that power. That power represented the wild, represented people that would not conform and be under the boot of the new industrial capitalist society that was being built there. In England and Europe. If you look at industrialism and capitalist society, the genesis of capitalist society is founded on 3 massive genocides. You know, one of them is the kidnapping and the enslavement of Africans from Africa. Slavery was only phased out with the discovery of oil. Then you have just the extermination of indigenous peoples and the theft of their lands and resources. And then you have the witch hunts, the taking out the woman, bringing the woman underfoot and that power. Because wahine are creators of life. You've got to subdue and subordinate that power.
Yeah, you've got to be able to control it, eh?
And what they've done is they've identified the sites, they've corrupted the sites of power, the sites of resistance, the sites that fuel the resistance of a people to being controlled by others. And the whare tangata is one of those sites. Woman is one of those sites because she births the people. She's the house of whakapapa. You've got to take out the woman. You've got to bring them to their knees. And that's what they did, you know.
Oh, that's amazing, kōrero. In closing, you know, tuhinga, I've been actually holding myself, composing myself, because this is really emotional, this kōrero for me. I think about my daughters, my pānau, her whānau, my whānau, all the women in my whānau, and, you know, just what it's done. But I just want to sort of bring it to now and ask about some tikanga that are practiced today or observed today that are debunked by our rangahau, or there's a perception to them. For the likes of, you know, he tika te kōrero, ka rere te ikora, you know, the woman shouldn't be harvesting harakeke, or what are the whakaaro about
true.
those things? And, you know,
Urupa.
and urupa and
Mara, diving.
Yeah.
hapu, all those things. Can they or can they not? What is the perception or the perspective that has changed around those type of tikanga?
We got to approach those tikanga as tikanga poi rather than tikanga...
Tēnā koe.
Kia ora.
Rather than prohibitions and
Yeah.
restrictions
Kia ora.
placed on wahine
Tikanga
by
poi.
tāne. No.
Tikanga poi.
See, Pākehas, when they saw that we had tikanga around what we did and didn't do, they automatically equated it with pollution and the inferiority of women, and they're dangerous, so you've got to put them over there. They can't do this, they can't do that.
Yep.
You know, it's men imposing these rules. No!
Kia ora.
It was wahine placing boundaries down for themselves about what they would and would not do in that incredibly tapu time.
Kia
Because
ora.
when we bleed, wahine are the gate between worlds. We are the threshold
Yeah.
between Te Ao Marama and Te Ao Wairua. When we bleed, that gate opens.
Kia ora.
And that river runs through, you know. And so, yeah, we didn't go into the Marakai to work. We didn't really work at that time anyway.
Yes, kia ora.
We retreated to
Whakatā.
rest. Just
Whakatā.
like Hine
Whakatā.
Keiwaiwa, we took our cue from the moon.
Yeah.
Federal time
We
of
took
rest.
our cue from Hina. We retreated our faces from, you know, from the world to rest. But also the blood represents whakapapa. You're not going to shed that blood on kai. You're not going to go into the moana because the blood attracts stingrays and sharks.
Kia ora.
Yeah.
Our people are practical people,
Yeah.
you know. Urupa, I don't know about that. I don't understand the logic around that. Why we wouldn't go into an urupa when we bleed if it's our own urupa. Somebody
Yeah.
else's, I understand, because we're very sensitive. That gate is open.
Kia ora. Kia ora.
We're very sensitive, but our own urupa, I don't know. I don't know about where that tikanga comes from.
Well, even the concept of urupa is new.
Yeah.
We didn't have urupa.
I think the most important thing for wahine today is to actually, we've got to connect in with our own puku, with our own intuition and instinct, and ask
Yeah.
ourselves, does
Yeah.
this feel right or doesn't it? If it doesn't feel right, don't do it.
Aye.
Yeah.
We've talked about tūpuna memory on Taringa in
Yeah.
previous episodes, and te whakarongo ki te puku, tō puku, and let your ears be open.
Yeah.
Yeah, and ko te taringa e kōrero nei au, e rongo ai koe e rā, ko te taringa wairua.
Hatu patu au e.
But it is.
Yeah, and because like you've got to quell or not even quell, but, you know, quieten the analytical mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think
Yeah.
koina te tukinga.
Ah, yeah.
We're trying to find
no.
reason.
Yeah.
And we're trying to, you know, we're in conflict sometimes with our puku and what
Yeah.
our puku says.
And to quote Che,
Oh.
the cacophony of modernity.
Cacophony of modernity, koia. Because, you know,
Whoa.
tuhinga, you're talking about these things, and some people might find the struggle of it being unrealistic in the day and age and the way that we live. However, you know, that's the challenge.
Ow.
Exactly, that's the challenge for us to make. When our wahine, you know, ka rere te ikora, ko tai mai te wā o hina, you know, to allow the time and shift for them to purify.
Just make it gentle. Pour her a bath. Cook her a kai. Wahine, if you have to keep on mahi, if you got to keep going, kei te pai. Just take a moment. Take those moments for yourself
koe.
and bring
Kia ora,
awareness to
kia
your
ora.
own sacred space. You don't have to take a week off work. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's got to be practical. That's right.
Kia
But
ora.
because I think that we're so busy, aren't we? And it's a process of resensitizing,
Resensitise,
slowing
kia ora.
down, and also I think what you were saying, Bo, about, you know, because the mind will booby trap us. And when we listen to the puku, it's a different way of knowing. It's a different way of moving in the world. And I just think, and that our tipuna, our kaitiaki are constantly talking to us. We're just so busy that we don't slow down to listen, and that's the perfect time to slow down to listen.
There you go, e te whānau. If I leave it to Snow and Erica to wrap up, we just won't. So,
We're going to 2-part series. And no one will buy the book. So buy the book.
Can we hear te puka?
Ai.
And I look forward e te tuhinga e rikirika ana kia kitea te puka o Waiwhero.
Ai.
E ai ki a koe ka horahia ki ngā kura. Me te waimari
so
o ngā rangata i tamariki kei te haere ake. Me ngā mātua, me te ao Māori whānui. Nau i tuwhirai te ngākau. Kareo ki te ngākau, te puku.
Ai.
Tēnā rawa atu koe mauihara mai ki Taringa. Kia Taringa ki te whakaputa i ngā kohinga i roto i tō kete. No Taringa, no ngai Taringa katoa, te māringa nui.
Kia ora.
Tēnei te mihi kia
Tēnā
koe.
koutou.
And
Kia
in the
ora.
moment that you talked about, thank you for giving us a moment of your very precious time.
Ai.
I tēnei
Kia
rā.
ora koutou.
Twice.
Twice.
Ai. Nō reira, e mihi ake
Kia ora
ana kia
koutou.
koe. Tēnā koe, ngā manaakitanga nui ki runga kia koe.
Tēnā koutou.
Tēnā koe ngā
Tēnā koe.
Mā te wāne.
Yes, well, we will probably have another wānanga with you.
Yeah.
Me te hea tu a tōna wā.
A tōna wā. Yeah, because I'm on this new haerenga. Well, it's not really, it's a continuation, but I'm really looking now at menopause, ruahinetanga.
Wow.
Because
It's
I didn't do that.
Yeah.
Because I was too young.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I couldn't write about what I hadn't experienced firsthand.
Yeah.
But now I'm coming into that time and the kōrero, I think, there's just so much there, eh?
I don't know if you visited a Pākeha, it's close to Tirau. Ko te ingo te pā ko taumata Wahine. And it was only for Wahine. It's 5 minutes from Tirau. He opened, because e ai ki te kōrero, all the Wahine would go, and I used to think, how would they all go there? Nā, I roto i tō kōrero ko Māramau.
Yeah.
Because they would all go there together.
Yeah.
I te wā e rere ana te marama.
Whoa.
And tāne were only allowed to the gate of the pā to bring kai up. And they would use the time.
My gosh.
They would use the time to rest and to wānanga.
Oh my God, imagine the wānanga.
Yeah, I'll take you there.
Imagine.
Yeah, I'll take you there one day. And
Oh, bro, I would love that so much.
well, we want to start up a tribal wānanga for Wahine.
Cool.
At the marae that's next to it. I know. I'm giving all the Wahine in my tribe the cues. They're not running with the ball.
Yeah.
But now we've had this quarter, I'm just going to, that's what you fellas have to do.
Oh, bro, well, he whanaunga taiwa, right?
Yeah.
He whanaunga taiwa.
Koia. And you know, i a koe kōrera mo te ruahinetanga, we still talk about my kuia Naki.
Yeah.
You know, she went into Te Urewera and did work there. And you know, when people, maybe not so many of my generation, but aura kaumātua still remember Naki. And she was a force to be reckoned with.
Oh,
You know, and none of the tāne in her, she was the last, her and Henare, koro Henare tū whāngai, they were the last students of Miringa Te Kakara. She was the last wahine
Last Wahine, wow.
who went through there. You know, she didn't have any children, but she adopted, i whāngai i te taino o taku mama. And we've still got some of her water in the whānau. You know, and you know, when someone says Naki, it's like there's a moment of quiet. And they go, oh, it's Naki o kuia. You know, so when you were talking about, you know, on the battlefield, and anyway, we did
the
wrap up.
kuia.
Yeah.
That's
We gotta tell.
dangerous. Who is going to mess with them?
Yeah.
Don't with the
All our
kuia.
kōreros,
Yeah.
all the generals were surrounded
But,
by the kuia.
Ka tuku mātou i a koe te tuhinga, we'll be in touch. Got another one coming up. We'll wrap this one up. We'll let you go and then we'll wrap up. And e mihi nui ana kia koe.
Kia ora koutou.
Kia kōrua ko te puaheiri nāna, tēnei whakarite. Nō reira ngā mihi o kia koe tai.
Kia tātou. Yeah.
Ka pai.
Tēnā koutou.
Nō reira, e te iwi anei te waiato te wiki nā tētahi wahine whakairo. Ara nā whiri mako black ko te waiata ko.
Wahine whakairo.
Tēnā whakarongo mai. ōreka mai hoki.
Ai rā.
Me te hāngai ki te kaupapa.
Yes.
He hine te iwa iwa. Beautiful te
Sultry,
rangaiata.
sultry.
Yeah, she has like
Sultry,
one of those
yeah.
really nice like lounge
Yeah.
hotel
Yes.
Still yet to
foyer
listen to that
lobby
album of the
voices.
blues songs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ia, e mihi ana tēnā koe a whiri mako. And tēnā e rere tonu ana ngā mihi ki a koe, Dr. Ngāhuia Murphy. Tēnā
kia ora.
koe. So we're going to go around. What's one new thing you learned? I'm going to say mine first in case you pinch it.
I've got something that I want to ask you about.
Oh, okay.
The kupu ruahine. So you used it as like a mihi, but I thought it was like meant an elderly kind of woman who's in that past that menstrual stage.
It is. And a lot of ruahine also were women that had reached the stage of tohunga, or they were tohunga.
Oh, okay.
But a lot of the time they were elderly women.
They were also,
Right.
The menstrual, kua mutu te rere o te marama, and they were known as ruahine. But then ruahine also became a kupu in acknowledgement of he wahine tohunga. She was known as a ruahine. So she's a ruahine in her own right, I believe, through the rangahau she's done. E ai ki nā, yeah. So kuina.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. We can use a lot of terms loosely to embellish.
And I do not use that term
Me
loosely.
ua ka whakamahia.
Yeah,
Yes, well, you said,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think, she has the right to that, to be called a ruahine.
Absolutely.
Nā rungai ana mahi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what she's working on now, which sounds really good. Yeah. It's opened up a massive gateway of old knowledge coming back.
Bit of a waharoa.
A waharoa.
Opened up a waharoa. Yeah.
Okay, e tātou ma, tētahi akoranga hou.
Yeah, when you're going first?
Okay,
Yeah.
So mine
That
was
might spark some-
that I rere te marama i te wā kotahi.
Yes.
Ai.
Yeah, that all the wahine would bleed together because they were so in tune with papatuanuku,
Ai.
with te taiao.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he akoranga hou, and it opened up, I was like, hera i hina tore, some of the kōrero around one of the pā in our rohe,
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
where wahine would go all together at the same time. And I was thinking, see, was my takuroro Pākeha.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
questioning that.
Yeah.
And ko marama.
Ko marama.
Yeah, all the wahine would go there at one time when e rere ana te marama. So, yeah, that was, koina te akoranga hou, ki au i tēnei wānanga.
Mean.
Ko tāku, ko te kiwaha.
E rama.
E rama,
But
e rama.
all my akoranga were like confirmations or denies of some of my whakaaro around it. Especially the tikanga poipoi.
Yeah, nice
Oh,
word.
yeah.
So cool.
That's
because
that
I've
was a
always
really good
wondered,
way to
it's like,
describe
are
it.
these old tikanga but have been given a different perception based on the whakaaro Pākeha that they've been perceived?
Yeah.
And I was grateful Ngāhuia to, well, for me, confirm some of what I was thinking too.
Yeah.
So yeah, koina aku akoranga.
Yeah, and just to pick up just very quickly on that one, I remember taku hunga wai, actually it's digorous. You know,
Yeah.
there's the tikanga about not cutting flax in the rain.
Ai.
Now, the tikanga poipoi was, so you don't get wet.
Koia.
You know?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
you're going to
Might-
be out, because when you cut flax, you also clean the pāharakeke.
Yeah.
You don't just you cut the deet, you know?
Yeah.
So it's a bit of a job back in the
Yeah.
day.
It's a cleansing.
But yeah, digorous was like, well, we've got raincoats now.
Yeah.
You know, so that's the tikanga poipoi. It was there to look after them.
Yeah.
It was not like, because tapu, because it's
Because it's
raining.
tabu, you'll be...
You know,
yeah,
so same
smite.
sort of whakaaro.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kei a koe te tuahine?
The use of ceremonial blood in
Oh,
Tikanga.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard her kōrero a couple times before, but I've never heard that. So that was really interesting, and I'd love to learn more about it.
Tēnā koe. Yeah, and it's interesting you say that you've heard her kōrero a couple of times, and we've said a few times on Taringa, ngā mōhio, they will add things
Yeah.
that they didn't say before, or
Yeah.
it's not because they've forgotten, it's just didn't come up in that particular wānanga.
Yeah.
And such is the nature of wānanga.
Yeah. Aye.
Eh,
Yeah, especially in the same kaupapa, and you may go, I've heard this before.
Yeah.
So there's something else
Do you
to
know
be
who's
learned.
really good at that? Rangi. I mean,
Aye.
I've heard him speak so many times,
Yep.
and every time there's something new, and I'm just like, wow.
Ana. Ka pai, well, tēnā tātou e te iwi, e rama.
E rama.
E rama.
E rama.
I love the one, she said it.
Yeah.
Kiwa and a whole lot of other things.
Yeah.
I roto i tā tātou wānanga i tēnei rā. Hoi anō, e rere ana ngā mihi kia koutou ngai taringa. If you've just dropped in for the first time, welcome.
Welcome.
And if you're back, nau mai hoki mai. And horahi atonu tia te rongo pai o Taringa. Share it with your whānau, with your friends. E mihi ake ana, me kore ake koutou. Kei aku rangatira, e mihi ake ana, tēnā koutou. Hei ko nā mai rā.
Hei kona!
Hei ko nā mai rā.
Me whakarongo pi kari kari. Gather up close everybody buddy. Taringa, taringa, taringa. Yeah, tahuri mai ki yo. Whakarongo ki te tangi a te kori mako. Kōrero flowing out the hoka force. Kaupapa relevant, kaupapa out of bounds. Kaupapa exigent, kaupapa paramount. Nā kona whakapiri mai ki te kaupapa tino whakahira hira. Whakarongo pi kari kari mai. Hare hare mai, o taringa hare hare mai. We gotta gather up close everybody. Gather up close everybody. Kani move that body. Kani move that body.
Taringa, he mea tuku nā te wānanga o Aotearoa, ā, nā te māngai pāho me irirangi te motu I tautoko. To listen to more episodes, search for us on your podcast app and subscribe, or follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Taringa, whakarongo mai.